Right. Now we will take one by one key part of the definition of fair value. First, we will look at the price. The price that would be received to sell an asset or pay to transfer liability in the market at measurement date under current market condition. So the first thing you have to take, the fair value should be determined under the current market condition. At the measurement date, whatever the market condition available, you have to assume that we are selling the asset under current market condition. So when the market condition change, fair value of an asset can change. Now for an example, when business organization want to determine the fair value of a motor vehicle, you have to determine the fair value based on the current market condition, existing import duties and the tax structure, all that. So this fair value can change in another 6 months time if the government impose more taxes on imported vehicles. The fair value of this asset will go up. But you have determined fair value today based on today's market condition. Based on that, what is the fair value? The value that you can sell this asset. And as it was explained in the previous slide also, the price is always exit price. So this exit price, when it's come to asset, the cash inflows expected to generate from sale of the asset. But when it's come to a liability, when you are going to transfer the liability, the exit price of a liability means expected cash outflow by the entity to transfer this liability to another party. So if you have a loan, if you want to transfer your debenture or any kind of liability to another party, you have to make a payment. So the exit price is cash outflow. And the price should be determined in principal or most advantageous market. So what is this principal market and the most advantageous market? We'll be discussing. So when it's come to price, what you have to remember, it is the exit price. දැන් මිල අපි හැම වෙලේම බලන්නේ වත්කම හෝ වගකීම ව්‍යාපාරයෙන් එළියට යද්දී ඊට අදාළ වත්කමකට නම් අපිට විකුණලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වටිනාකම. වගකීමක් නම් වගකීම සෙටල් කරන්න අපිට ගෙවන්න වෙන වටිනාකම. That is the price. Then this price is relating to asset or liability. No, the fair value measurement is for a particular asset or liability. Then when you determine the fair value, you have to consider the characteristic of asset or liability that market participants would consider in determining the price at the measurement date. Because this is the price that would be received to sell an asset in an orderly transaction between market participants. So price should be determined by the market participants. So we as the organization, when you determine the fair value, then you have to take into consideration characteristic of asset or liability that market participant would consider. So what are the characteristics affecting to fair value of asset or liability? Now if you take a motor vehicle, the used motor vehicle, the condition of the vehicle is a characteristic. the mileage, year of manufacturing. Those are conditions. And if you take an asset like land, the location is a characteristic which affects to the fair value. You know that if you take lands near to the university, the prices are much higher. If you take the land is located 1 or 2 kilometers far from the university. So the location is a characteristic of asset which will affect to the fair value. Then if there are some restrictions on sale or use of asset, building construction restrictions, right? In a particular land, you can maximum construct particular number of floors. There are some restrictions. Now, even if you take our university premises, right? Since the university nearby, we have the Katunayak Ratmalana Airport. As a result, there is a maximum limit, the number of floors that you can use for a building. So you can't go for a building the maximum number of floors as you wish. So that will affect in determining the fair value, because that will restrict the use. If a particular person, say if a buyer of an land want to have a apartment, and he's originally planning to have it with say 25 floors, but there is a restriction, we can maximum go up to 20. Then that is a characteristic which will considered by market participants when they come into a price. That is the price that we are going to estimate as fair value. Then this asset or liability, we can take a standalone asset or liability, individual single asset. If it is possible to determine the fair value of individual asset, then we can take the individual asset, non-financial asset, the class of property, plant and equipment. When you revalue each and every building, each and every machinery, sometimes if you can determine the fair value separately, if you take land and building, basically you can determine separately fair value from other asset. If you take motor vehicles, one by one motor vehicle individual asset wise fair value can be determined. Then financial instruments such as the investment in shares, investment in debentures, the fair value most of the cases readily available from the market price of a share, market price of a debenture. Standalone asset or liability we can use. But in certain cases, the fair value of standalone asset or liability cannot be determined. Then different accounting standard allow to take combination of asset or liability in determining the fair value. For an example, in certain cases, we can take the fair value of a cash generating unit. The one section of a business which generate cash. If you take a business which running chain of supermarkets, branches, one branch you can consider as cash generating unit. So you can determine fair value of that particular branch considering all the asset within that. Then sometimes one manufacturing facility which include land, building, plants, everything will be acting as one cash generating unit. So you can determine fair value of asset or liability instead of individual asset as a group of assets. The fair value definition එකේ price එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක අපි කතා කරා. ඊළඟට මේ price එක අදාළ වෙන්නේ වත්කමකට හෝ වගකීමකට. සමහර වෙලාවට අපිට වත්කම් වගකීම් තනි තනිවම අරගෙන fair value එක determine කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර වෙලාවට එහෙම තනිව වත්කම් වගකීම් වල fair value එක determine කරන්න අමාරුයි නම් standards වල කියලා තියෙනවා. අපිට group of assets, group of liabilities විදිහට combination එකක් විදිහට fair value එක determine කරන්න කියලා. ඉතින් අපිට ඒ අවස්ථාවට යන්න පුළුවන්. Then this fair value determination, we assume orderly transaction. So what is mean by orderly transaction? A transaction that assume exposed to market participant for a period before the measurement date to allow marketing activities that are usual and customary for transaction involving such asset or liability, and it is not a forced transaction. Orderly transaction එකක් කිව්වහම systematic transaction එක. ක්‍රමානුකූල ගනුදෙනුව. Orderly. So it should not be a forced one. Forced transaction. So we assume the market participants were given the time to expose the usual market activities. We assume all these conditions. Then in such a condition, what is the price that we could have sell our asset? A simple example to understand this, if you take, we have invested in shares of a particular company which is listed in a stock exchange. So we have purchased 1,000 shares at rupees 200 each. So we have recorded our investment 200,000. Initially, the fair value is the amount we pay, 200,000. Then say we acquired this on 1st January. Then as at 31st March 2020, when we prepare the financial statement, we want to determine the fair value of our investment. Now we are keeping the investment. We are having these 1,000 shares still with us. We haven't sold. But for the purpose of determine a value in the statement of financial position, the measurement purpose, we want to determine the fair value of the investment. So what we do, we can take what is the market price of a share of this particular company as at 31st March. So there are many other shareholders of this company. There are share transaction taken place every day. So you can take what is the price of a share of this company sold in the stock exchange. So when you take the stock exchange price, I think you have some idea about how price is determined based on demand and supply, right? The sell order, buy order take place. So normal, there will be a time that it will be display in the process. So after all, on 31st March, a share of this particular company was traded in the market for 220 rupees. Then we can reasonably assume that our shares also we can sell in the market on that date if we sell for 220. So we can determine fair value as 220. So this is an orderly transaction. It's not a forced one. But on the other hand, if you take, now we have this 1000 shares invested, 200 rupees. The close to the year end, the major shareholder, he want to acquire all these minority shareholders. So he made some private placements, made an offer to us to sell our shares for 250 when the market price is 220. So then there is a force. So you can't take that 250 as the fair value because it's not a orderly transaction. Clear? So මේ orderly transaction කියන්නේ ක්‍රමානුකූල ගනුදෙනුවක්. මේක force කරන එකක් නෙමෙයි. සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට market participants ලා මේ වගේ ගනුදෙනුවක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වෙන process එක ඇතුලේ ගිහිල්ලා ඒ marketing activities වෙලා ඒ අනුව තීරණය වෙන මිල. ඒක තමයි මම පැහැදිලි කරේ. දැන් අපි රුපියල් 200ට ගත්ත කොටසක fair value එක අපිට හොයන්න. අපි ළඟ shares තාම තියෙනවා. හැබැයි අපි year end එකේ මේ කම්පැනියේම shares 220 ගානේ විකිණලා තියෙනවා නම් අපි දන්නවා මේ orderly transaction, systematic transaction වලින් market participants ලා අතර තීරණය වෙච්ච මිල. ඒතර අපිට assume කරන්න වෙන්නේ අපි orderly transaction එකකට ගියා නම් අපිට යන්න පුළුවන් price එක තමයි 220 කියලා. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තෙන් main shareholder අපි වගේ පුංචි shareholders ලා ඔක්කොමලට offers දෙනවා private placement විදියට ඇවිල්ලා 250ට දෙන්න කියලා යාට. එතන තියෙන force එක market price එකට වඩා වැඩි ගන්න. ඒතර ඒක අපිට fair value කියලා ගන්න බෑ. fair value එක determine කරද්දී අපිට මේක orderly transaction එක විදියට ගන්න වෙන්නේ market එකේ වෙන transaction. Then what is the market? The market should be principal market. The fair value should be determined in the principal market. In the absence of principal market, then we can determine fair value based on most advantageous market. So fair value එක අපි හැම වෙලේම ගන්නේ principal market එක මත පදනම්. Principal market එකක් නැත්තම් ඒ වෙලාවට අපි most advantageous market එක ගන්න. What is principal market? The market with the greatest volume and the level of activity of asset or liability. දැන් අපි කලින් ගත්ත උදාහරණෙම ගත්තොත් දැන් shares ගත්තොත් principal market එක තමයි share market එක. Colombo Stock Exchange එක ලංකාවේ listed company එක share එක fair value එක හොයන්න ගන්න පුළුවන් principal market. ඊට අමතරව private placement වෙන වෙනම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි principal market එක තියෙනකොට අපි යන්න ඕනේ principal market එක. ඒක තමයි වැඩිම volume එකක් වෙන්නේ transaction. But for certain assets, certain liabilities, this volume information may not be available. In that case, the organization can go for the most advantageous market. The most advantageous market is the market that maximizes the amount that would be received to sell an asset. Most advantageous. අපිට වඩාත් වාසිදායක වෙලා තමයි. ඒතර වත්කමක් නම් the maximum amount, the market that maximum amount that would be received to sell an asset. If a liability transfer, the minimum amount that we would be paid to transfer the liability. After taking into consideration both transaction cost and transport cost. ඒතර අපි ගන්න ඕනේ අපි asset එක ගත්තොත් asset එකකින් අපිට විකුණලා වැඩිම මුදලක් ගන්න පුළුවන් market එක. හැබැයි මිලෙන් අපි අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ. transaction cost එකයි transport cost එකයි. The net proceed we have to consider. So what is transaction cost? Transaction cost to sell an asset or liability in the principal market that are directly attributable to the disposal. So those are incremental costs that we have to incur because of a sale. Now, easiest example you to understand, when you enter into a share transaction in Colombo Stock Exchange share market, there is a stock broker's fee, the brokerage fee, that you have to pay that. Without the brokerage fee, you can't finalize the transaction. So when you are determining the most advantageous market, if you take a price, say the share price is 220. So if you have to pay 0.5% brokerage fee, so you have to deduct it and determine the net amount. So the transaction cost is the cost that we need to incur when you sell an asset or transfer a liability. මේ ගනුදෙනුව නොවුනොත් මෙහෙම cost එකක් දරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි හිතන්නේ අපේ වත්කම ව්‍යාපාරයෙන් එළියට යනවා නම් විකිරෙන මිලනේ. එතනදී most advantageous market එක හොයද්දී අපි transaction cost එකයි transport cost එකයි දෙකම අඩු කරනවා. We are going to deduct both transaction cost and the transport cost. The transport cost, easy to understand, incurred to transport an asset from the current location to principal market or most advantageous market. So if you take asset like shares, debentures, financial asset, there's no transport cost. But if you take a property, plant and equipment, some machinery or vehicle, where that the principal market is a particular geographical location, where that the vehicles are sold. So then you have to deliver the asset, transport that asset to that place. So that transport cost we have to take into the consideration. So both transaction cost and transport cost are used to determine most advantageous market. Then in the principal market or most advantageous market, we are going to determine the fair value. In the fair value determination, transaction cost is not adjusted. Only the transport cost is deducted, because transport cost generally added to the price. So that become the part of the characteristic of the asset. So to determine the fair value, we have to deduct the transport cost. Now for a simple example, if you take the price of a petrol liter, right? So if you take 92 10 petrol liter, 137 rupees. So normally we say 137 rupees, the present fair value. But if you go to Jaffna, it may be 137 rupees and 20 cents. In Batiklo, it may be 137 rupee and 10 cents. Why? Transport cost is added to the price. But to determine the fair value, you have to eliminate the transport cost, deduct the transport cost from the price. Transaction cost is not deducted when deriving the fair value. But when you are determining the fair value, if the principal market is not available, then if the asset is sold in different markets, then you have to determine the most advantageous market. In that case, to determine the most advantageous market, from the price, you can deduct both transaction cost and transport cost. So you can understand this once we work out a sum. Right? So prior to work out a sum, briefly explain key part of definition of the fair value. So we are discussing the key parts. We have discussed two parts by now. First one, what is the price? Three parts actually. What is price, asset or liability, and orderly transaction. This orderly transaction is occurred, should be occurred in the principal market or most advantageous market. The price should be determined based on price of a principal market. If the principal market cannot be determined, then the price should be determined based on the orderly transaction occurred in the most advantageous market. So we will go to the next activity. We have a numerical example. To determine the principal market, determine the fair value, determine the fair value of asset in the absence of volume information. An asset is sold at two different active markets at different prices. An entity entered into transactions in both markets, can access to the prices in both markets at the measurement date. So you are given, there are two markets, the market 1 and market 2. The volume of assets sold in the two markets, market 1, 100,000 units, are sold in that market 1, market 2, 75,000 units. In market 1, 26,000 is the price per unit. Market 2, 25,000 rupees is the price per unit. Then transport cost 3,000 in market 1, 1,000 in market 2. Transaction cost 2,000 in market 1 and 2,000 in market 2. Then the net price received. So you can easily identify the principal market based on the volume. The principal market is the market with largest volume, the level of activity. So market 1, 100,000 units, market 2, 75,000 units. So it's obvious market 1 is the principal market. Clear? The principal market එක කියන්නේ වැඩිම units ප්‍රමාණයක් අලෙවි වෙන, වැඩිම activities ප්‍රමාණයක් සිද්ධ වෙන market. යනුව unit ලක්ෂයක් market A වල විකිරෙනවා. unit 75,000ක් market B වල විකිරෙනවා. ඒ නිසා market A තමයි principal market. Then we can determine what is the fair value. The fair value is the price that we could have obtained by selling the asset in the orderly transaction between market participants in the principal market. So here we can determine the principal market, the volume information available. So price 26,000. But in determining the fair value, the transport cost become characteristic of the asset, so that is added to the price. So this 2,000, 3,000 transport cost should be deducted. So fair value should be 26,000 minus 3,000, 23,000. So principal market is market 1, and fair value in the based on principal market, we can calculate 26,000 minus transport cost 3,000 rupees. So that is equal to 23,000 rupees. That is the fair. So fair value determination, always we deduct the transport cost, because when you are transporting the same product into two different markets, that will affect to the price. The transport cost is added to the price. So we remove it to determine the fair value. The third one, determine the fair value of the asset in the absence of volume information. If volume information is not available, so here we assume you are not given this 100,000, 75,000. We don't know how many units are sold in market 1 and market 2 of this kind of asset. Then we have to determine the most advantageous market. The most advantageous market is the market that we can earn highest net sales proceed after deducting both transport cost and transaction cost from the price. So that is calculated and given here. The net price received in market 1, 21,000, market 2, 22,000. So then most advantageous market is market 2. Then our fair value should be 25,000 is the price. From that deduct the transport cost included in that price 1,000. So the fair value in the absence of volume information is rupees 25,000 minus rupees 1,000. It is rupees 24,000. This is based on most advantageous market. Based on most advantageous market, we determine the fair value. Now don't confuse that there are two fair value. There are, right? Because this is a activity given you to understand the concept. We first consider with the volume information, we determine the fair value. That's it. If volume information available, then you can determine the fair value based on the principal market. So fair value is 23,000. Then we take a separate scenario. The fair value, the volume information is not available. Then we can't find the principal market. No principal market. Then you want to determine the most advantageous market. Then most advantageous market is market B, market 2. Based on the market 2, based on most advantageous market, fair value is 24,000. So I hope got this clear. එතකොට fair value එක අපි හොයනවා principal market එකේ මේ orderly transaction එක market participants ලා අතර වුණා කියන assumption එක මත. ඒ අනුව අපිට volume information තියෙනවා නම් වැඩිම volume එකක් තියෙන වැඩිම level of activity තියෙන market එක principal market එක විදිහට හඳුනාගෙන principal market එක මත fair value එක තීරණය කරනවා. ඒ අනුව තමයි unit ලක්ෂයක් විකිරෙන market 1 වල පදනම් කරගෙන fair value එක 23000යි කියලා අපි තීරණය කරනවා. ඊළඟට අපිට වෙනම scenario එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා මේ volume information නැහැ කියලා උපකල්පනය කරමු. ඒ වෙලාවට අපිට municipal market එකක් හොයාගන්න බෑ. ඒ නිසා අපිට සිද්ධ වෙනවා most advantageous market එක හොයන්න. net proceed එක වැඩිම market එක, transaction cost එකයි transport cost එකයි දෙකම price එකෙන් අඩු කරාට පස්සේ. එතකොට 22000ක් ලැබෙනවා දෙවෙනි market එකේ. ඒ අනුව fair value එක තීරණය කරනවා price එකෙන් අප අඩු කරන්නේ transport cost එක විතරයි 1000 අඩු කරාම 24000 fair value කියලා. So you should get 23,000 if volume information available. If volume information is not available, then can't help. We have to take fair value as 24,000. Then this what I explain is in detail explain here in this slide, right? So you can go through it. So I am not going to read it again. This is for your reference. We include this answer to the slide. Then we have activity 4.3. Delta PLC is a diversified business, owns a division which sell agricultural tractors. It is considering selling this agricultural division and wishes to measure fair value of inventory of tractors for the purpose of sale. Our business having different business segments. Now this business planning to sell one of these business segments. Then there may be other parties who making some offer. For that you want to measure all the asset at fair value. So they want to measure these agricultural divisions fair value. They have inventory, tractors. The 4 markets currently exist for the tractors. So Delta PLC has transacted regularly with all 4 markets. As at 31st March, they have 200 new tractors that we want to determine the fair value. So the markets are given northern, eastern, western, southern. And you find selling prices are not equal in each market. 1,450,000, 1,480,000, 1,500,000 and 1,475,000. Then the total volume of vehicles sold in the market 600,000, 100,000, 250,000, 350,000. Transaction cost per vehicle and the transport cost per vehicle given. Delta wishes to value a tractor at 1,485,250 as this is the highest net proceed. So when you look at these figures in the Western market, the selling price 1.5 million. They have a transaction cost 8,750. Transport cost 6,000. When you deduct the both, the highest net proceed 1,485,250. And they try to take that as the fair value. Now one thing, there are 2 errors in this 1,485,250. The fair value determination, you have to deduct only the transport cost. But they have taken highest net proceed out of these markets. So that in fair value determination, you can't deduct the both transaction and transport. So you can't take this. Other thing is, you can't go for the highest net proceed when the volume information available. You have to determine the fair value based on principal market. So what is the principal market here? Principal market is the market with the total volume of vehicles sold in the market. Northern market 600,000. So fair value should be determined based on principal market that is not there. So selling price 1,450,000. From that, we can deduct only the transport cost 3,200. Transport cost 3,200. So that should be the fair value. So it should be 1,446,800 when you deduct 3,200 from 1,450,000 based on the principal market. So we have 200 tractors stock. So you can multiply it by 200 and determine the fair value. So here you see that we have to determine fair value based on the principal market. That is the highest volume and level of activity. In the absence of principal market only, we can determine fair value based on most advantageous market. So here we have access for the volume information. So principal market is available. That is the northern market. So you can determine the fair value of a vehicle 1,446,800. That is 1,450,000 minus 3,200. When you multiply it by 200, you will get the total price of the stock. So fair value based on principal market, that would be 289,360,000. If this volume information is not available, then what we have to do? Then we have to select the market with generate highest net proceeds after deducting both transaction cost and transport cost. So then you will see the Western is the market because the selling price 1,500,000. When you deduct both these, you get 1,485,250 net proceed, Western market. But the fair value again is not 1,485,000. If you take the most advantageous market, then 1.5 million. From that you deduct the transport cost 6,000. Then it would be 1,494,000 multiplied by 200 unit. You would get fair value as 298,800. But you can't take that figure here because we have the we have the volume information. So we can determine the principal market. So fair value should be determined based on the principal market. So we have discussed three components, key parts in detail within the fair value definition. What is mean by price, what is asset or liability, and what is orderly transaction. That orderly transaction should be occurred in principal or most advantageous market. So with some example activities, we discuss how to determine principal market, how to determine the fair value of the principal market. In the absence of principal market, volume information is not available, then how to find the most advantageous market and how to determine the fair value.